Good afternoon, and welcome to the first virtual showcase for Visa Everywhere Initiative Latin America and Caribbean, brought to you in association with Finovista. My name is Andres Fontal, and I'm co-founder and managing partner of Finovista, an innovation and venture development firm. We help transform insurance and finance for the better in collaboration with startups, corporates, and entrepreneurs. We build and operate innovation programs for corporations that empower the fintech and insurtech ecosystems to achieve innovation results and build new organizational capabilities. Through our startup engagement and acceleration programs, we have helped global leaders like Visa solve big innovation challenges in collaboration with startups. Finovista has consolidated a fintech ecosystem in Latin America, where more than 25,000 innovators, entrepreneurs, and experts exchange knowledge and connections. Today, the 10 startup finalists for Visa Everywhere Initiative will showcase the collaboration proposal they are pursuing with Visa to the fintech community in Latin America and to our esteemed judges. These teams have refined their initial proposal after participating in a 3-week virtual immersion program focused on accelerating their collaboration with Visa. By the end of today's session, the 3 winners of this year's edition will be announced. They will earn prizes of $25,000, $15,000, and $10,000, respectively, and have the opportunity to scale their collaboration with Visa to the next level. Visa Everywhere Initiative for Latin America and the Caribbean, in association with Finovista, was launched in 2017 and has become the ultimate fintech startup engagement platform in the region. So far, more than 1,000 startups in more than 30 countries have applied to this program, presenting their solutions to help solve the challenges presented by Visa for Latin America and the Caribbean. This year, in response to the challenges presented by COVID-19, Visa Everywhere Initiative has transitioned to a fully virtual environment, reinforcing Visa and Finovista's commitment to continue developing the fintech landscape in the region. Before starting, we want to thank Visa for continuing to confide in our capabilities to help them collaborate with startups. We also want to take a moment to thank all the startups that applied to this program this year, and for believing in the potential of a startup engagement platform to help them collaborate and bring their projects to the next level with corporates such as Visa. Also, a bit of fun for the audience members. Feel free to use our photo booth during the event. You may access it here, and we've created some Visa Everywhere Initiative themed stickers to personalize every snapshot. Now, to continue, I'd like to pass the word on to Ruben Salazar from Visa, who will be sharing with you some of the highlights of this year's program. Thank you.
Thank you, Andres. This is the 4th consecutive year that we celebrate the Visa Everywhere Initiative Finals in Latin America. We believe this program is supporting the acceleration of innovation in the region, is helping emerging technology players to display their solution, and is encouraging the creation of healthy collaboration across the industry. The fintech sector is growing exponentially in the region. We are seeing more transactions, the size of the ticket investments are larger, and we are seeing more companies from Latin America reaching the $1 billion investment threshold. The fintech sector is playing a huge role in the transformation of the region. We believe that active collaboration with the banking industry is generating tremendous value for the merchants and the consumers. The pandemic underscores the dependency of technology across industries and in our everyday lives. The growth of e-commerce and the need to bring more consumers and merchants to the digital economy will create a new breed of startups in the region. The opportunity is large. We believe there are 200 million individuals without access to banking and roughly 50 million merchants trying to get access to the digital economy by means of accepting digital payments, but the offer does not exist. That creates a market opportunity of roughly $2 trillion. We all win by displacing cash from the transactions and by enhancing the commerce experience. The conditions to accelerate digital inclusion and innovation in Latin America exist today. We have roughly more than 60% of internet penetration. Almost 70% of the people in Latin America has a smartphone in their pockets. 60% of the transactions of the Brazilian banking system are happening in digital. And there are more than 50 million individuals operating today in neobanks or digital-only banks in a total banking population of 260 million. So currently, there is more connectivity than banking penetration. Both the fintech and the banking community can leverage technology to reach millions and millions of consumers that remain underserved. The solutions to be presented by our finalists today are trying to enhance the user experience, add value to transactions, eliminate friction, and provide solutions for consumers and merchants when they buy, when they bank, and when they pay. Thank you all for the commitment to participate under these circumstances. We have designed a very rich agenda, but the stars are the technology companies who are presenting their solutions today. I'll come back later in the program with some announcements. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maria Mercado. I'm part of the Digital Partnerships, FinTech, and Ventures team at Visa LAC. I will be your host for this virtual showcase. Today, we've invited 10 of the most talented startups from Latin America and the Caribbean, selected among over 300 applications and from 27 countries. They have prepared a 3-minute pitch to present their solutions and the collaboration proposals they're currently developing with Visa. The overall session will be divided into 2 batches of 5 presentations each, and between the batches, we'll join a fireside chat with Arnoldo Reyes, Vice President of Digital Partnerships, FinTech, and Ventures at LAC, and Adolfo Babatz, CEO of the Mexican startup Clip. Clip is the terminal that allows businesses to easily accept all electronic payment methods. Then, after finishing this streaming, we'll announce the winners of the Visa Everywhere Initiative LAC 2020. The Global Startup Engagement Visa Everywhere Initiative was launched in 2017, and so far, over 7,000 startups have participated in over 100 countries. It landed in Latin America in 2017, and in association with Finovista has become our main platform for fintech engagement in the region. Since its launch in LATAM, Visa Everywhere Initiative has evolved from an all-inclusive fintech platform willing to connect with all kinds of startups, regardless of the development stage, to a more targeted challenge-based program aiming to solve current business challenges for Visa through these collaboration with growth stage companies. Over the year, the program has yielded great results and collaborations, not only with past winners, but also program finalists, like the ones you will listen to today. For instance, Organízame from Chile and Ubank from Mexico. Visa's real objective with VEI is to be the partner of choice for fintechs in Latin America, while also finding partners to solve challenges like small business recovery. The startups presenting today come from a pool of over 300 applications, which mainly came from Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, Chile, and Peru. From those 300 applications, only 145 passed the eligibility and quality filters by Finovista and were evaluated through an evaluation process where Visa execs and VCs from Finovista's expert network evaluated and shared feedback about these companies. The judges selecting the winners for the 2020 edition of Visa Everywhere Initiative are top management Visa executives and executives from world-class Visa partners. From the Visa side, we have Terry Angelos, Global Head of FinTech, Ruben Salazar, Head of Products and Innovation, Claudia Bolt, Head of Client Services for Visa LAC. And also joining us will be Miriam Cosio, COO of Clip, and Isael Peña, Head of Digital Banking for Banco Popular Dominicano. You should know that these judges have met with all the finalists in a private Q&A session in order to support their decision to select the winners of Visa Everywhere Initiative 2020. Now, let's meet the first 5 finalist companies presenting their collaboration proposal with Visa today. From Brazil, Data Risk. From Chile, Dumint. From Costa Rica, we have FT Technologies. From Panama, Figaro. And coming from Mexico, we have Lendera.
My name is Jonathan. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Data Risk. Data Risk is a decision as a service. Data Risk was born to inspire better decision making through machine learning AI. Problem definition. Data became an essential part of strategy, but the adoption of a model-driven culture does not follow the same path, mainly because the three reasons: lack of quality data, even with multiple sources, high knowledge bar to build models, and complex implementation process. About the market solutions, keeping the whole commerce ecosystem away from good decision making based on AI models, make it restrict to large enterprise. Our solution with Visa. By using Visa APIs, Data Risk can offer a 360 score approach to modeling based on 4 key building blocks: credit bureau data, bank account information, client's internal data, and Visa APIs. This can improve credit decision making all over the market, including small and medium business. The impact for society is huge. Why we are ready? Data Risk is ready for collaborate with Visa because 3 main aspects. The first one, company maturity. We receive a seed investment and we prepare the Series A. So we are looking for investment. 22 clients across different industry. The team founded with relevant background in we've established organization. And 3, solid fit, low development effort on our side because we construct products and base to scale. Business model, we have 2 ways of make money, okay? SaaS products, API scoring, and consult projects. We have a strong founder team. I am co-founder of Rápido, a last mile logistics company in Brazil that we sold to iFood in 2018. iFood is a unicorn in Brazil that operates in food service delivery. Carlos Helvas was the first data science at Nubank, and Gustavo was lead data science of Neue, and we have 30 data science helping to democratize data science around the globe. Okay. We have customers, a lot of verticals here in Brazil, from finance to health, as can you see. So we would like to thank you, Visa, for believing our dream size 2018, and our customers for bringing us here. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Felix and I'm the co-founder of Doomin. The main reason for closing a business is cash flow. However, few SMEs conduct a systematic process for collecting their receivables. Doomin is an end-to-end collection platform that gets installed in a few minutes. We integrate to invoicing system, we send personalized collection reminders, and we provide tools to accelerate and drive conversion on invoice payments. We also integrate to banks to reconcile receivables faster. We have shown amazing results. Our client gets paid faster, reducing overdue by half. That's twice the time to focus on complicated customers. We automate 90% of the collection process as we create incredible KPIs to run a healthy business. We have over 500 customers in multiple industries, from small startups to international companies like Cabify. Last year, we helped the recovery of $300 million in invoices. Currently, we process 50 million monthly. Our clients are mainly in Chile, but we have successfully integrated to government invoicing systems in Argentina, Peru, Colombia, and Mexico. With Visa, we want to process every B2B payment through Visa's infrastructure, generating new payment flows for Visa. First, let's see how we process payment today. Here's a reminder from one of our clients. Doomin is sending an automatic email to their debtor that haven't paid an invoice. If you look close at the bottom, it includes different credit and debit methods that we offer today. We want to replace that supplier connecting to Visa infrastructure globally. When a successful transaction is made, issuers and debtors receive an automatic notification. All receivables are updated so merchants can focus on growing their business and not collecting money. Doomin collects the money on a virtual account, like PayPal. We want to replace that with a Visa virtual account. This is our process today. The debtor receives a reminder and decides to pay. It involves 3 intermediaries till the money arrives to a Doomin account where our client can make withdrawals. Only changing an API connection, everything will be processed through Visa infrastructure. The money will arrive to a Visa virtual account as well. If the transaction is made within 2 Visa merchants, we will offer installments for invoice payments, generating a financial business for the acquirer, anticipating cash flow for the invoice issuer, and alleviating cash burn for the debtor. The first solution is plug and play, just replacing an API connection. The second solution requires a little coding and a connection to an acquirer. The benefits for Visa are incredible. Visa will access to a new payment flow and will acquire new B2B customers. Let's disrupt B2B payments together. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Carlos Reyes, founder and CEO of FT Technologies, and I will show you our solution for this Visa Everywhere Initiative 2020. We propose our tap-to-phone solution improved with a digital onboarding in the app. This is a new version of our already in production solution with Visa in Costa Rica. Tap-to-phone is a proven technology, processing contactless transactions and ready to use in all Latin America. We already have more than 2,000 merchants in production in Costa Rica. In our project, we want to join 3 Visa environments, as they are acquiring, issuing, and Visa Direct in just one white-label app promoted by acquirers or payment facilitators. Our solution is built and managed in our unique EMB kernel in the cloud, giving us a fast integration, low cost, and high scalability. Can be delivered to any country in Latin America easily. With the digital onboarding, the merchants can download the app from the stores, register their information and merchant category in the app, and start approving transactions in just 1 second. In the same process, we will offer the merchant to request a debit card to receive their payouts via Visa Direct. If the merchant already has a debit card, can use it too. In this moment, the merchant is turned into a cardholder, and we are completing the 4-party model that is the base of our business. The solution has other great features, like paperless online sales story, is user-friendly, and do not need any other device than a smartphone. We have a great opportunity in collaboration with Visa. Our first target are all the independents and informal employees in Latin America, giving them a low-cost solution, easy to use, high accessibility, and secure. In Costa Rica, we already have a lot of tap-to-phone transactions all over the country, and we are reaching the farthest places than didn't think in the past. This is my team, and we already have more than 20 years of experience in the payment card industry. We know that tap-to-phone solution is the best solution to change the future in the final transactions.
"2020 has forced upon us a new reality in which digital became the solution to keep businesses running. What hasn't changed are the challenges when starting or transforming businesses with e-commerce in a timely manner. Figaro is a turnkey solution that SMEs and entrepreneurs need and are using to reactivate the regional economy, helping them adapt their businesses for digital payments. Figaro is the only solution available that combines the different parts that businesses need: electronic invoicing, payment buttons, logistics, website creation, and more, well integrated and ready to go with gateways and couriers all across the region. Live in more than 30 jurisdictions and with over 15,000 registered users, our customers range from early-stage startups and entrepreneurs to multinational brands like PriceSmart and Samsung. With cutting-edge tools and a unique network, we enable a truly seamless experience, a one-stop shop. And it works. Figaro has proven to help the activation of the economy at an incredible 56% growth quarter over quarter in both B2B and B2C transactions. Earlier this year, we started working with Visa in the Caribbean, and would like to present a 3-step proposal for taking our partnership to the next level. For step 1, we will extend our reach to increase transactions and reactivate as many businesses as possible across the region and beyond. We believe so much in our partnership that we have already started with step 1 by working on the integration process with CyberSource, which will expand our reach to countless acquirers using Visa technology to increase transaction volume. Step 2 will reinforce regional supply chains by integrating virtual business cards to improve the merchant's overall experience with our centralized hub, while also incentivizing spending using the newly generated cash flows. Step 3 will integrate further with Visa's ecosystem for the expansion and omni-channel solutions. By using Visa Direct, B2B Connect, and feature technologies, we will allow SMEs to grow, expand capabilities, and pay their suppliers digitally while making their workday more efficient and enjoyable. Today more than ever, we consider Figaro more than just a platform, but a necessity, a vital resource for the survival and thrive of our regional economy across all levels.
Hello, I'm Fernando, and I will blow your mind. Right now in Mexico, there are 35 million Mexicans in the middle class, and they have 300 billion pesos in the bank account that doesn't give any interest. There are more than 5 million companies in Mexico with little access to financial solutions, and they have a need of 200 billion pesos. 99% of the companies in Mexico are SMEs, and they make a huge impact to the economy and employment. So that's why Lendera is the first and only fintech with a crowd leasing model that connects enterprises that are looking forward to renew, acquire, or lease equipment and machinery with investors that are looking forward to put the money to work. We have retail investors and institutional investors. Right now, Jorge and I, we have more than 30 years in a non-bank financial sector, giving financial solutions to SMEs. The community has invested more than 72 million pesos. We have a network of more than 8 million investors right now. 100 of them are institutional investors. 71 companies have raised capital on Lendera with more than 100 opportunities. We don't have one, but 5 opportunities to work together with Visa. Visa Direct, to make cashing for the investors easy, faster, and a secure way. Visa credit and debit card connected to the investment. Right now, we can start with 8,000 investors directly. Next year, we're looking forward to 30,000 investors, and we're starting also international office. For the SMEs, we see an opportunity to connect the lease contract with an alternative lending solution with a Visa business card. Also, we saw a huge opportunity to give our clients direct billing, giving them technological collection solution for them. And also, we see an opportunity to connect our clients with Visa solution, with a Visa business solution kit, so they can have a better experience in technology for the business growth and management. So that's why Lendera, we connect people, we create realities.
Now we will join Arnoldo Reyes in a fireside chat with Adolfo Babatz from CLIP, one of Visa LAC's key clients. Take it away, Arnoldo.
Great, thank you, Maria, for the introduction. And now it's my pleasure to host a virtual fireside chat with a good friend and one of Latin America's most visible fintech founders, and certainly at the helm of one of Latin America's most renowned fintechs, Adolfo Babatz, founder and CEO of CLIP. And this is particularly a very exciting fireside chat for me personally. Adolfo and I were coworkers many years ago. And as a fintech aficionado, I've been watching the growth of CLIP from the sidelines over the last 6, 7, 8 years. And it's tremendous what Adolfo has been able to build, not only in Mexico, but what he's been able to contribute to the broader Latin American fintech ecosystem. So this is a very exciting and special fireside chat. Adolfo, thank you so much for being here. That sort of segues a bit into, the CLIP story. When folks read about these massive companies that have been formed in Latin America and have gone on, to raise money and so forth, and have become sort of these symbols of reference for the startup community, in fact, now for, incumbent financial services and so forth. Everyone is always a bit curious or mesmerized by what that actually, what that story, is behind the company, right? I recall when we were at PayPal, everyone talked about Elon Musk and Peter Thiel trying to send themselves money via Palm Pilots, and that's sort of how PayPal started. And then Airbnb, you have a very interesting story with Brian Chesky and the other two founders. So what is CLIP's story? Like, how does this start? Where does the idea come from, and sort of where is this born from?
So the idea came, as many other startups in the Valley, from PayPal. I think at one point you mentioned that this was probably the first company that in Latin America that came out of PayPal. I joined PayPal in 2008. 3 weeks before the financial crisis. By the end of that year, with folks at the mobile team, we took a prototype to Mexico to accept credit cards on an iPhone. And this was pre-App Store. The App Store didn't exist yet. The iPhone was still locked. The iPhone was hacked, and then we took that. And we had an e-commerce seminar going on in Cancun to show PayPal's product. And merchants didn't want to look at that. They wanted to see the acceptance of cards on the phone. So I saw it with my own eyes on the very early days that this was a massive need. And then I came back to headquarters. My job was to sell that internally. I did a horrible job doing that. I didn't have a lot of idea about payments. Frankly, I was new. I mean, I've been only working for 2 months during the internship, and this was 2 months into me getting a full-time job. So the project, of course, got archived. And about a year later, Square launched in the States with something very similar, not exactly the same, something very similar. And sitting from my desk, I was like, Jesus, man, this was the one. So so in that's the origin. And then so a couple of years later, I left PayPal to start CLIP. So that's the origin of the company, and where the idea came from. So I had it easy in a way because I first saw this need in person with the merchants. It was in Cancun when we did this seminar, and then I saw the validation of that model with Square, And the big lesson there for me was that execution is what wins. Execution is what ends up mattering the most. A violently executed business plan, violently meaning in a good way, is with a so-so strategy is much better than a perfect strategy with a so-so execution. Execution is the name of the game, and for me, I learned this the hard way, but it was very evident in retrospect, of course.
Yeah, and you mentioned validating, and that's an important point because I think many people, whether you work in a big corporation, obviously like you used to be in, or you're just an entrepreneur looking for ideas, there's always this point where I tend to say everyone's ideas are the best. It's like your children, right? But then there comes a point where it's very important to validate the initial concept. So how did you go from sort of, taking the idea, putting this together, and actually validating this to a point where you said, okay, this is something that is for real. There is demand. There is a need for this in the marketplace. Because one thing is obviously seeing it in Cancun and hearing from potential merchants. The other thing is actually launching product, right, and seeing if people are actually going to adopt it and use it. So how did you get your first customers, and how do you start validating the concept and the value of Clip?
So I think at an overall level, I would do it differently if I would have to do it again. But I would do it more quickly, early, more dirty prototypes, and start validating earlier. Okay, that's what I would do. That's the way we're doing things right now at Clip. I would do that if I would start again, all over again. That being said, when we launched, we had some very early indications about how passionate users were about the product. The very few users we had, there were very small merchants. When we showed the product to people, the first reaction literally was like, wow, this really exists. And then we started seeing the metrics, and the metrics confirmed that the level of retention that we had from people was very, very high. So all those things were very, very encouraging, Arnoldo. However, we were missing one key thing, which I think many people that come from the product side, including me, make the mistake, and take for granted, which is growth and distribution. This was already 2 years into starting the company. So mid-2015, I realized we were not growing fast enough. So we changed our distribution model radically. We had an online-only distribution model, and we went to a hybrid model, which is online-offline, and that's where the boom happened. And we became very good in distribution. I would say that we became even better at distribution than at product, and we were already very good at product. And I think that was the key, Arnoldo. So in terms of validation, we had early indications about the loyalty, the retention. The only thing we didn't know it was if this was going to work at scale, because we didn't have distribution, and we were basically not growing at the pace we were supposed to grow. Then when we switched to the distribution model and we started seeing at scale this, and at scale meaning affiliating thousands of merchants every month, that's when we said, oh my God, this was, to give you a reference, this was 2016, more or less. That's when we raised a big round from General Atlantic at the end of 2016. And it was very evident when we went at scale that this was going to become very big. But it took us almost 4 years to figure that out.
Yeah.
Of trials and changes.
Yeah, of course. So the interesting thing here is you started with sort of an online distribution. And I think, obviously having that so-called product market fit is one piece of it. And you had some very strong indications of that. The other key thing for pretty much any company is customer acquisition, right? Which is distribution, basically, right? And when you mentioned you were online, obviously, people would come onto your website and order, a clip dongle and so forth, and they'd get it. When you mentioned the offline, just for the audience, that means you began using distribution partners like department stores or physical retail locations, very much like Square did here in the US, right? Where you walk into a Verizon wireless store and you can actually buy a Square dongle. So, that is what you refer to as the offline distribution, right? There's all these sort of different channel partners to make sure that your product is accessible, right, to merchants.
That is correct. And we started using people also, not only the retail, physical retail, also feet on the street.
Yeah. Excellent. The other thing is, you mentioned, when exactly is that point that you said, wow, this is going to get really big? I assume it's after you started sort of this hybrid distribution model. You began seeing, the numbers just grow and grow from an acquisition perspective, but also from a cohort retention perspective, right? In terms of the merchants that were using the product were engaging more, and you would see that potentially they'd have a very long lifetime, right, using the Clip product. But was there any moment where you said, okay, we have these three things in place and we have validated them, this is going to get really big, right?
So I think, to be completely candid, Arnold, there's never that moment. Even to this day, that moment is not clear, because there's always something, right? There's always something that can go wrong. And I think if we have learned something from this last 6 months, is that many things can go wrong. Okay, so I at least in my case, there was not that moment when I said this is going to be very big. The thought in my mind was, this could become very big if we keep doing some of the things we're doing, but there's never 100% certainty ever, even to this day, about how much you're going to grow, how much more you're going to grow, or how fast you're going to grow, or how big you're going to get. I do have a high level of confidence today, but I cannot tell you that it's a fact that is going to happen. And back in the day, it's even less, because the problem, Arnoldo, is that, and back in those days, the base was very small. So it's very easy. So there's some startups that report 400% growth quarter over quarter or month over month or whatever. Well, yeah, if you're starting with 2 and then you go to 10, and that is a problem when you're at a very early stage, that you don't know if you're going to be able to keep those growth rates, because usually what happens is you have spurs of growth and then kind of slows down, and then you might have another spur and then another slowdown, or actually you start coming down. So there are many variables in place, but at least, I mean, in my case, and that is something that has been very present throughout the life of the company, is that we have a high degree of confidence that it's going to become even bigger or much bigger than what Clip already is. However, there's not 100% certainty. And I doubt any sincere tech founder will tell you that, because the doubt is always on your mind, and it should be on your mind always, by the way, because if you're 100% certain, that means you might be missing something, that you're not seeing the whole picture. It's called paranoid.
Absolutely. Yeah. Only the paranoid survive. I think there's a book called that. But the other thing is, the interesting part about this is you're getting into a merchant acquiring business, right? Did you have any sort of doubts or fears? You're taking on sort of an industry that to this day is predominantly controlled by incumbent players, right? That have been doing this for years, that have scale and so forth. How did you sort of approach that? Because, I talk to a lot of founders, and many of them sometimes say, oh, I have this idea and I've tested and there's some validation in the market, but I don't know if I do this, this corporation or this bank is just going to come and clobber me, right? And you've become immensely successful, I think, obviously because of the people, the product, the customer experience. but also because you really transformed the model and how easy it is for a small merchant to start selling and accepting digital payments, right? But how did you manage, if you ever had that doubt of, one of these large incumbents is just going to come and wipe me out, right?
So we managed that with the bravery that ignorance gives you. So, look, Arnoldo, the market is really big, and there's one thing that I did know, though. One thing I did know is that really good products, amazing products, tend to do well. It's not for sure that they do well, but they tend to do well. When you couple that with other things, like I mentioned, distribution, with a team, when you start growing, making sure that the company grows healthy, financing, et cetera, et cetera. So I knew that from my experience at PayPal, from my experience at MIT. The other thing I knew was that the current offering merchants had was really bad in Mexico. It was really bad because I tested it out in both in PayPal and then in Clip. I actually tried to get a POS in PayPal, a virtual POS, and then at Clip, a physical POS. And these are processes that can take up to 9 months in some institutions. So I knew how bad the service and the product was, the existing offering. Because acquiring, at least in Mexico, it's only for very large merchants. Very large, I mean the Walmarts and the Starbucks of the world. So when you couple those two things, it's kind of a no-brainer. And you have an immense market, which is unserved because it's unserved. I mean, 80%, 85% of our merchants on the Clip, they're new to payments. So, and if they try to crush it, well, then you will see. First, you have to actually become a threat or actually have some success in order to happen. The thing is, if you don't take the dive, take the plunge, you're never going to do it. There's an overstatement, Arnoldo, about, and this happens a lot to VCs, to venture capitalists, when they say, oh, what happens if Google does this? What happens, and I'm using Google as an example, or what happens if Facebook does that? Or what happens if Visa does this? Okay, to your case. And it's like, dude, all these companies are one trick pony. Every single company in the world. Big, large, small, taco stand, huge network like you guys, largest engine in the world. One trick pony. And they only know how to do things. And they overstate that the threats that come from an incumbent that has not been successful in that business or that has never been in that business to really wipe out everything. So it's a little bit like when when you have a hammer in your house, you're running around, you're just looking for nails and you punch them. We're trying to apply, or at least, and it's fine from an investing perspective. It's understandable, but kind of the what happened to BlackBerry with iPhone, or what happened to film with digital cameras, to every single situation, and the fact that there is disruption at every single level, and there is companies that go bust because of new companies coming in, but it's usually not the large companies, the ones that wipe people out. It's usually newcomers. So I think it's overstated. We should be more worried about small companies than large companies.
Yeah, agree. You mentioned venture capitalists, and that's sort of a good segue into the next point, and perhaps one of the most important points for founders, right? Which is, great, you've come up with this idea, you've done some validation, you've identified channels to distribute, you have sort of the basic unit economics, but now it's time to sort of embark on the fundraising journey, right? Two questions here, right? Obviously, you have grown because you have sort of leading investors that have believed in your product, and most importantly, have seen the data and your growth, right? What has that fundraising journey looked like for you, right? How did you go out and sort of start raising the initial rounds of funding? And for everyone else in the audience that's a founder, based on the different rounds of funding that you have been through already, what continue to be the top 2 or 3 elements that VCs will look for in companies, right?
So I think depends on the stage of what they look for on the stage of the company and the quality of the VC. Okay, so different fundraising stages are very different. So when you start a seed, of course, they're buying a vision, they're buying maybe some information about early data. Of course, they're buying you as founder and the team, the 2 or 3 people that usually are in a company at that moment. So you gotta prove that there's an actual need and that you can solve that need efficiently. That's early stage. Early stage are not the hardest round to raise. They're usually, if not the easiest, the second easiest. The most problematic usually is the next one, which is round A, where you need to prove traction, and your numbers, in our case was retention rates, need to start making sense, and you need to start having a path for growth. Maybe you're not growing there like wheat yet, but it's very clear that you're gonna get there. And that is a very tricky round to raise usually, because the metrics are sometimes not as obvious, and the path of growth sometimes is not that clear. Or you have the other way around, you have a very clear path for growth, but the economics are not there. Or the economics are there, which was our case, but the path to growth was not there. So it's kind of a hard round to raise. Then you move to the next one, which is B, which is technically a growth round. There you have to prove the economics, and you have to prove the distributor that it can get massive scale with more money, so that you're not going to start just plunging money, which is what happens with many startups that raise hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. They just plunge money, and the ROI is probably not going to be there. So that is the B and the next round, right? The B and the C, and as you go. So it really changes. The company should be very different at different stages. You as founder, CEO, need to be also approaching things differently. Your role in the first 2 rounds, you are jack of all trades, as you might imagine. In B, you need to start having a team, assembling a team, or be ready to assemble a team once the money comes in, which was our case. And in D, C and D and above, you better have a world-class team, because it cannot be a one person show anymore, or it should not be. Okay, and that's a mistake sometimes funds make. This is a little bit of what funds look for in each different stage, what you should be doing. There's an amazing set of presentations by Reid Hoffman. If you Google them, the book is not that good, but the presentations are much better. It's called Blitzscaling from Stanford, and it tells you the different stages the companies are and what kind of the role of the founder and CEO and the organization. How does it look like? And it's very, very interesting to see the growth at different stages. And I think in terms of funds, the thing is, fundraising is not a metric by itself. The metric should be the return on that investment and how you're growing and how you're building a company towards profitability and towards making a real big thing. Fundraising rounds can be it's like I call them morphine. When you go to surgery, they give you morphine, right? And it helps you because it takes away pain,
but it may not
really helps you.
But it may not cure. Yeah,
it might kill you if you abuse it. Fundraising is the same. If you raise too much, it will damage the company. Too much money in every single part of life tends to damage things. Kids, companies,
everything. Everything. So as we begin to wrap up our chat, I want to leave people with your thoughts on obviously the last 6-7 months have been incredibly tumultuous for the world. It's been incredibly difficult for small merchants, right? Particularly in Latin America and really around the world. These SMBs, and this is now more relevant than ever. How companies like Visa and Clip are working together to sort of address the needs of SMBs. What are you guys doing on this front? For SMBs, given sort of this new normal, which may be for a couple more months or a year or two, and what are your thoughts on that in general?
So we launched a program back in May, and I'm going to go through quickly because I don't think we have a lot more time. But we did basically four things. Number one, we dropped the price, of course, of the hardware, of all our hardware, from more than 20%. Number two, we doubled the income our merchants receive via recargas. We have a product called recargas top-ups. We doubled their income on that they get when they do a top-up. Number three, we're paying every single day to them, every single day, including holidays and weekends, because they need the cash. They need to be liquid. And finally, we launched a card not present product called Pagos a Distancia, which enables them to send payment links to their customers, so they don't have to be physically present. Okay, so that's what we launched. We launched this in May, a complete campaign and all these tools. And right now we're working on enhancing some of those tools to make sure that we help them survive and weather the storm via liquidity, via new products that bring them more business and giving them more income. We're trying to make Clip for them a source of income more than a source, more than a cost, okay, for the transactions. So that's where our minds are heads down.
Awesome. That's great. That's great to hear that not only are you guys focused on your core business and obviously weathering the storm, so to speak, but also very quick to adjust to the needs of your customers, right? So that's great. And we've obviously run out of time. There's so much more we could talk about. But I did want to thank you again. I think this is incredibly valuable information for the audience, for founders, for Visa executives, for our partners, our clients. So thanks again, Adolfo, for taking the time to chat with us today. And all the best, and we'll certainly be chatting soon.
Thank you, Arnoldo. Thank you, all the folks at Visa.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, let's meet the rest of the 5 finalist companies presenting their collaboration proposal with Visa today. From Brazil, Mgrana. From Uruguay, we have Prometeo Open Banking. From Colombia, we have Quipu Market. From Peru, Ricra. And also from Mexico, we have Yedu.
Hi, my name is Daniel, and I'm the CEO of Mgrana. Mgrana is an Android app targeting 85 million financially underserved Brazilians, meaning Brazilians that don't have a bank account or don't have access to credit. We use a proprietary AI algorithm to score users using their smartphone data, and then we process these loans and deliver them instantly within the app. This is a big problem in Brazil. 1 in 3 Brazilians don't have access to credit. There's about 100 billion in unmet need in credit. And so when we think about how this impacts everyday life in Brazil, let's think about the story of Ana. Ana's a street vendor in Sao Paulo. She has no credit history or financial data, and she can only hit up loan sharks. Banks cannot help Ana. And the reason is banks can't lend to her because she doesn't have any financial data, and Ana doesn't have any data because nobody's lending to her. So it's a very vicious cycle that's hard to break. But Mgrana's AI technology can efficiently assess financial risk using Ana's smartphone data. We can look at things like her GPS movements to confirm that she really is a street vendor. We can see if she's downloaded apps like the Mercado Libre and Uber apps. And if she's did that, it's 9% more likely she's going to pay back her loan. We can also look at her SMS history and see that she has frequent top-ups. And that means that she's 14% less likely to pay back her loan. There's about 10,000 other data points that really tell us that her data enhancement can really pay back her loan. Mgrana's loan app is tailored to the needs of Brazil's financially underserved like Ana. It's easily accessible, it's simple, there's no paperwork required, there's clear pricing, there's no hidden fees, and it's convenient. Loans are approved and dispersed within 10 minutes, whereas in Brazil, the average online loan takes about 3 days to make it to somebody's bank account. Our commercial traction has proven the model works and has been a success. We've delivered more than 12,000 loans, processed 160,000 loan requests. Our average loan sizes are about $50 and they're paid in 30 days, and our repayment rates have skyrocketed to 76%. This is even more interesting when you look at the repeat users. About 81% of our customers are repeat users, 90% of them are paying back their loans, and we're profitable on our first loan. When we look at our 12-month LTV, there's about 6x on this. So the return is pretty high for repeat users, and we really are a business focused on giving people cash on a weekly basis. The market opportunity is massive. There's about 5 billion potential revenue per year. There's 84 million financially underserved, taking six times per year, $50. This is about a big opportunity for us. And how can we work with Visa? Off the bat, we can deliver instant loans via Visa Direct because we know who are customers with Visa debit cards. We can also do product integration and issue more than 30,000 prepaid virtual cards off the bat using a BIN sponsor and acquirer to some of our most frequent users. And we can really accelerate the growth by offering preferential terms to some of our SME customers that are already accepting Visa payments at their merchant locations. Finally, this is a team that has built data technology reaching more than 100 million Brazilians. We've done this before in our previous company, and we're ready to do it again with Mgrana. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jimena Alemán, and I am co-founder of Prometeo. In Prometeo, we believe that the financial future is open and connected, and we are building it. But before this, the financial future has to go digital. In Latin America, just 1 out of 3 transactions is electronic, and this needs to change. But how can we change that? We have to target small and medium businesses because they represent more of the 80% of the economy in Latin American countries. We will need a digital transaction platform that could enable payments both online and in the point of sales, and that could create immediate cash flow and lower fees for merchants. With Prometeo, we can do that. That's why we want to ignite Visa's network. Prometeo is the biggest open banking platform in Latin America. It provides a single point of access to information, transactions, and payment across more than 42 APIs from more than 30 financial institutions in 9 countries of Latin America. We are like Plaid, but for LATAM, and we are certain that we can create amazing things with Visa. Visa has a powerful network that provides tech infrastructure for banks, merchants, and users. Prometeo also has a very powerful network that provides tech infrastructure, but for banks, fintechs, and users. So if we combine both networks, we can ignite the future of financial services in Latin America. Specifically for merchants, we could create a very robust solution that could allow them to receive digital payments directly from their client's bank account to their bank account. We call this solution Visa Ignite, and it's really simple. It would just take a QR code. This QR code would identify the merchant. Then, when a customer wants to pay a product from the merchant, it could scan the QR code, and by scanning this QR code, could log in to their bank account to make a transfer. This transfer can be identified and traced through Prometeo, who can notify the merchant. This solution is very simple, but it will have an enormous impact for SMEs in Latin America. It will allow them to receive digital payments through a secure infrastructure and to have an immediate cash flow and lower the fees for digital payments adoption. Of course, it will also have an enormous impact for Visa, because Visa will see an enormous increase in digital transactions in its network. It will be building digital transfers infrastructure, and accessing the money transfer business. And of course, by accessing an enormous amount of data, it could leverage all this data into better knowledge of the users for providing them with better products and services. Of course, we are positive that the financial future is digital. Let's ignite it. Thanks for your time.
Hi, my name is Mercedes and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kipu. We are building the first neobank for the informal economy in Latin America. 1 in every 4 Latin Americans live in informal settlements in places that look like this. And the majority of the workers in the region are informally employed. But in the everyday, these numbers mean place-based informal economies consisting of micro-businesses like Julia's home-operated restaurant or Juan's corner store. These neighborhood economies face 3 barriers to growth: lack of information, limited or non-existent cash flow, and lack of access to capital. With COVID-19, we are facing an emergency on top of a pre-existing emergency. However, they have smartphones and a strong community network. And there's where we come in. We are creating a community e-commerce enabling trade without money while building creditworthiness. Quipus or token notes were used by the Incas to record census data and transactions, and we are bringing Quipu to the 21st century. Daniris is a prosumer. She produces and consumes in the same neighborhood. She creates a business profile on the Quipu app, and Quipu provides a few starter tokens to all first-time users. She uses her starter tokens to buy shoes from Julia. And after selling the shoes, Julia is now able to buy arepas from Rafael, paying him through Quipu Market. All of this chain of transactions happen in Quipu using tokens instead of pesos. Quipu tokens are a P2P interest-free credit that helps users transact even when they don't have enough cash. Our marketplaces are an economic recovery tool. The market digitizes informal microbusinesses and adds money liquidity. By doing that, we generate huge amount of data about local spending patterns and login access to equitable financial services. This is Quipu Market for one of our communities. Today, I want to have an arepa. And each microbusiness decides how much of their offer are willing to accept in the Quipu token and how much in pesos. For example, when I buy arepas in the neighborhood to this businesswoman, I pay her 10% in the token and the rest in pesos. We propose Visa to partner with us and replace the cash payments on our platform with their payment network. Our marketplace generates a data ecosystem of the neighborhood economy never seen before: spending patterns, reputation, demand, and offer. With Visa, by 2022, we can record 24 million transactions and create 1 billion data points about the behavior of local commerce. In the end, our platform creates digital credentials for informal merchants that are currently offline. We use our data to create an alternative credit score and design financial products tailored for the informal economy, such as microloans and microinsurance. Our team is multidisciplinary and experienced in developing technology for the informal economy in Latin America. We believe that Visa and Quipu could be an extremely powerful partnership to support communities' recovery and resiliency. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jaime and I'm a founder of RICRA. Suppliers in consumer goods, pharma, and construction industries rely on distributors and sales force in the field to get orders from customers with traditional and non-structured channels, losing visibility on how they are selling, pricing, not to mention poor productivity. That is why we built RICRA, a B2B commerce suite for suppliers. With our SaaS platform, suppliers' customers like corner stores, pharmacies, hardware stores have personalized access to 100% of the product inventory and can place orders 24/7. Suppliers manage orders, catalog, price lists, and connect to ERP or CRM through our REST API. Also, supplier Salesforce has a multi-purpose productivity app with a WhatsApp communication interface. With Ricra, suppliers keep customers closer, gain visibility on the sales channel, and increase sales. To use our technology, companies pay a $500 to $4,500 setup fee and a $500 average monthly fee based on the number of transactions. In Latin America, there are more than 1.5 million suppliers. According to Forrester, those companies will have a $300 billion GMV by 2025, creating a $1.3 billion market opportunity for B2B e-commerce platforms. We focus on mid-market suppliers. Implementations with Mayent or Vitex cost $500,000 and take 6 months at least. With Ricra, you can deploy your store in a couple of weeks. We have 50 active enterprises in 10 countries that already sold $50 million online. We are a positive cash flow business, growing 50% month over month with a $300,000 annual run rate and a 3 months customer acquisition payback. Ricra is a 25 people team. Julio is leading the technology and product unit, and I am working on the sales, marketing, and financial side. Before Ricra, Julio led several software projects for corporates and startups, and the last year he was a finalist in the TL Fellowship program. My last experience was leading an IoT sales specialist team in Telefónica Business Solutions. We will open a sales office in Chile, Mexico, and Colombia in the next 10 months to continue increasing our regional footprint. With Visa as a partner, we will have the tools to digitize B2B cash payments, which is now 80% of all the transactions in our technology. More than that, Visa could offer Ricra to all merchants or related companies looking for a B2B e-commerce platform. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Sergio. I'm a co-founder and CEO of JDo, and we help companies transform B2B payments in Latin America. We understand that financial technologies are transforming how companies behave in territorial processes. However, when we talk about B2B payments, this process is highly outdated in most companies because there is the people that work on these activities are not specialized, there are not easy to use and scalable tools, and there are very limited budgets for automation. This is especially true in Latin America, where only 6% of companies have some kind of access to financial automation technologies, generating waste of more than $100 billion annually worldwide. When we talk about model processes, we understand that B2B payments are pre-linked to procurement, accounts payable, and accounts receivable. Thinking about this, we have decided a solution that basically tackles this problem, from procurement and accounts payable, collections and accounts receivable, as well as business procurement cards for also payouts in B2B payments. In the last months since the COVID started, we have grown 4 times and currently have more than 17,000 SMBs connected into our platform with a 50% month-over-month growth rate, and have been able the last 4 months to accumulate more than $50 million in payments that are happening within our transactions. We are part of the Visa Everywhere initiative, and we understand very well what is the strategy for VGS, and we know that both for the cardable and for the B2B carded domestic activities, we can help Visa, and Visa can help us too. We have designed a collaboration in which we are using different kinds of the value-added services that Visa provides to allow companies to have B2B payments on steroids, with increased controls on the business payments, more liquidity options for how they are paying their different vendors, as well as helping companies build a better credit score. We are pretty sure that with this combination of services that we currently have, together with the support of Visa, we can continue adding more B2B payments into the transaction, and not only that, but also increase the amount of card transactions that we have currently. We believe that in the next 18 months, with the current growth trends that we're seeing and with the support of these B2B payments that we can get together with Visa, we can increase to have more than $50 million in B2B payments in the next 18 months that are passing through card transactions. We have a great team that has right now more than 50 people helping companies transform how they do B2B payments in Latin America. And with your support, we're going to be able to put business payments on autopilot. Thank you.
Now, let's hear some closing remarks and the moment we've all been waiting for, the winner's announcement from Ruben Salazar.
We are really impressed with all these solutions and ideas. All of them are focusing on leveraging data and technology to solve for real life and business problems. With the adoption of mobile technology, commerce, banking, and payments are becoming a single experience. In payments, the key to accelerate digital inclusion is to increase the value of paying electronically to the point that paying with or accepting cash no longer makes economic sense. So the challenge for all of us is to create better than cash solutions. Anything that adds additional friction to the transactions is not solving the problem and is unable to compete with the cash experience. Fintechs can help us in this journey and bring more consumers and more merchants to participate in the digital economy. The Latin American markets are in a massive transformation, and you just need to look around to see how this is challenging us to rethink our operating models. Banks are developing the right conditions and the right technology to integrate all these capabilities that exist in the ecosystem today, like personal finance management, APIs, token services, loyalty, and digitally package this into a single user experience to reach more consumers, the digital consumers. We believe that the collaboration between fintech and banking will continue to advance the digital evolution in the region. The Visa Everywhere initiative hopes to contribute to this evolution by providing a platform, a friendly platform for new technology players to showcase their solutions. Oh boy, every year the judges really struggle to pick the top idea, and this year was not the exception. We are really grateful with the judges for their professionalism and enthusiasm to collaborate in the event. We believe that you are all winners, and your ideas and solutions have a tremendous future in the industry. It was a very close call that requires a lot of deliberation, but we have the top winners. So good luck to everybody. The winner for the third place is
I want to thank Visa and Finovista for this opportunity, for giving a team that is very young and multidisciplinary, coming from a different perspective to the fintech world, this opportunity to get this huge prize and opportunity to collaborate with you. And we know that COVID-19 brought a shed light to this informal economy that was structurally there in our region. And this is the moment to help them more than ever. So we are very happy to collaborate with you for that. Thank you.
amazing idea and great business model. Congratulations. Now let's move to the second place. The winner of the second place is
Whoa, no way. Wow. Oh my God. Wow, thank you. Super honored. Well, I guess on behalf of M. Grana, this is a huge honor for us, and we're super excited. First of all, I'd really like to extend a big thank you to everybody at Visa and the Finovista team. It's been a real pleasure working with you guys over the last few weeks, and we've learned so much, and we really are honored and excited of continuing with this mission together of delivering credit to Brazil's most financially underserved. This is what we're here, and it's what it's all about, and we're really excited about doing this together going forward. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. That's great. That's amazing. Congratulations. Now, the moment that you has been waiting for. The first place and the overall winner of this year Visa Everywhere initiative is
Well, thank you very much. We're very excited for this. We thank everybody for giving us the opportunity to participate in the Visa Everywhere initiative. We're very excited to keep striving throughout the region and help all SMEs, entrepreneurs, and businesses of every size. And we know that we're going to be able to make a difference in the region and help everybody get reactivated and try new things with digitization. We're very excited for this, and thank you very much.
With that, I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone for tuning in to the first ever virtual showcase of Visa Everywhere LAC. And now a final message from Eduardo Coello, Visa LAC's regional president.
Thank you, Maria. I'm so excited with the results that we are seeing here in the fourth version of our Visa Everywhere initiative. Startups are the engine for innovation, and that is also true for Latin America. You are the ones bringing the solutions and platforms to close the gap in infrastructure that we have currently in the region. Bringing the best solutions for consumers and for merchants is the best way to really expand the innovation and also the inclusion of all the financial platforms for the different countries where you all operate. I had to congratulate all of you because you are all winners. As an example, more than 50% of the finalists of the latest versions have already had an engagement with us to keep expanding the platforms and solutions and ideas that you have that are very, very useful to expand the payments ecosystem in Latin America. We are very happy to see that in many of those cases, the solutions have come to life, because at the end, in many cases, what we are doing is helping different segments. In this year, it's even more important to support the small businesses. They have been hit hard by the current situation, but they are also the first ones to grow fast and also to change and evolve their models to the changing behaviors and expectations from consumers. So thanks for also helping us on that, because that is the way that we all grow in the ecosystem, but also we meet our purpose, which is enhance commerce and bring the best solutions to the markets. Thank you very much. Looking forward for your participation in the next year.